Good evening, lovely tubers. White Max came back in for another video today. Got a plethora of kind of randomness that I'm going to be reviewing and featuring today. We're going to kick things off with the magic card, Upstart Goblin. So many of you know there was a new subset released, Secret Slayers, that dropped this card in a reprint of Super Rare. Now you guys know we already have this card from, I believe it's the Turbo Pack, Super Rare, which is very, very expensive. This card is limited to 1 right now. I personally believe that eventually, as with every card in the ban list that you can see over history, eventually comes back off the ban list and gets unlimited and all that. This just thins out your deck. It's just an all-around great draw power card. And this card it's gonna go up. It's like Allure of Darkness. It was like when Dark Saviors came out. I picked up a lot of super rare Allure of Darkness. It's a little bit different. I think this is a little bit more of a secure bet than Allure of Darkness, because Allure of Darkness, there's so many prints of this. There's not really a lot of good prints in this card. Like Allure of Darkness has so many super rare reprints, X number of reprints, but this only has 2 super rare reprints, and of course the ultra rare reprint from, I believe it was either Legendary Collection Yugi or Legendary Collection Joey. But anyway, this card is under $2 right now. I specifically for this card, I adjust my settings to near mint lightly played like always, but more specifically, you want to pay attention to the 3 or more, because we want to buy this card in bulk. Like I promise you, this card's going to go up. The Secret Slayers just dropped, and this card is incredibly cheap right now. I personally invested in 41 copies, near mint first edition, of this card, and I want to say I paid like 63 or something like that. It was, you know, a little bit under two bones a piece for each copy that I got, and I got 41. So you guys can kind of do the math on that. And you can see here there's a pretty good plethora here. Again, this is just the 3 of, so there's pretty good amounts here that you can go for, big stocks here. And I don't really have anything else to say about this card. Again, I mean, I really love the artwork. This is an amazing draw power card. It looks amazing. Like, it's really cool because the super rares just look fantastic, and this is literally just like a mirror of the Turbo Pack Super Rare. Really quick, I'll go into the other versions to show you a plethora of commons, even the original Magic Rulers. Turbo Pack 8 was the dawning of the first holo print, and you can see here, this dropped the price a lot. You can see like it was around like 42 bones, and then the Super Rare reprint dropped the price significantly. So if you're like a hardcore rarity horror collector, that made the original super rare a lot more cheaper. Well, I guess that's a Korean one, so I guess it's still like around 34. So it didn't drop too much, but it did drop a little bit. The ultra rares are surprisingly still really expensive. You can see here market price at 16. And you see the first edition here for about 14 bones, which is really high. This is like a world-renowned high. It's never been this high. I talked about this card like probably a couple of years ago, and I was picking these up all day for like I think 3 or 4 bones. So this is seen some significant growth. It's pretty amazing. And then of course, you know, you have the super rare reprint from Secret Slayers, which I just showed you, which are about 2 bones. So there's not really much else I can say about this, but like I know this is gonna go up, and eventually this is gonna come off the ban list. It's only at 1 right now, like everyone knows. It's just all around. It thins out your deck and makes your deck potentially a 37 card deck. So it's just I would invest in that card right now. It's cheap. Secret Slayers just dropped, so that's all I'm going to say about that. Next card is Snatch and Steal. We had this for 1 format, and it got banned immediately. Again, it was banned for a really long time, still currently banned. But this card is just awesome artwork. Again, I'm a really big fan of Magic Ruler, and this is one of my all-time favorite Magic cards from Magic Ruler. Several of different prints here of ultra rares, 3 different ultra rares, but I always go, personally, my thing is the original prints from Magic Ruler. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the first editions. This is all around just like a pricey card. Like it's even the unlimiteds you can see here. I'm looking at the lightly played and near mints, and it looks like they're about like 5 bones plus for even the unlimiteds. I really don't recommend collecting this card in unlimited. It does get very pricey for the first editions. I mean, the card itself, you can only see there's 3 pages here for the original prints, and there isn't a single. Oh, here's the first edition on the 2nd page, and it's 17 bones. So yeah, this is kind of a difficult card to get if you don't want to drop funds. It's just an amazing card. This and Change of Heart. I kind of go back and forth with featuring this card and Change of Heart. Just awesome artwork, really old school Generation 1 collector's card, in my opinion. And just an all-around boss card. And it was so busted when we had it from one format, they banned it immediately right after that. So it's just an all-around great card. So the Koa-Ki Meru cards, I'm a big anti-meta player, and I've been kind of trying to develop this like Earth Rock deck because I really like Fossil Dyna, and I stumbled upon these cards, and there's like really old school cards, Raging Battle, Absolute Power Force, and there's a couple interesting Ultimate Rares. This one kind of being like the best one because you can stop special summons of Dark and Light, and it's an old school Ultimate Rare, so it's kind of worth a little bit of money, but more specifically, the generic anti-meta cards that I'm interested in, which actually just got reprinted from Secret Slayers. That's kind of what sparked interest in me researching the Merus. Is Guardian, the ones that negate monster effects, trap effects, and magic effects. So Guardian, Overload, stops summons, Wall, and what's the other one? Anyway, they're all Earth Rock, and they're all 1900 level 4s, I believe. Sandman's the other one. Pretty cool artwork, too. Those are the ones more specifically that I'm interested. I've kind of been messing around. I'll show you quickly this is a completely day one rough draft summary. I've been kind of trying to mess with the Earth anti-meta rock deck with, the All-Star Dyna right here. It's kind of what sparked the interest. So these cards right here is kind of silly. I actually had them all right here. These are all like the main negators and kind of doing like some kind of recycle stuff, with the block golem and the block dragon and some other support cards here. But anyway, this is kind of just a little experiment I've been messing with. So that's all I'm going to really say about that. I think it's kind of interesting. Not necessarily that you guys should invest in the Koa-Ki Miru decor. It's pretty cheap now, and I like anti-meta, so that's just kind of something I wanted to feature really quick. Dark Hole's at 3 right now. It's been at 3 for quite a while, which I'm really surprised at, and no one's playing it. I admit, even myself, I kind of have hard times finding room to put this card in because we have Nowhere Geki at 1 right now, and Lightning Storm. I personally don't like Lightning Storm. I don't use it. It's also really expensive right now, too, with it being a solo print. But there's so many amazing prints of this card for super cheap. Like you have the Turbo Pack Ultra Rare, which these are the bad conditions, but you guys can look into that if you want. More specifically, what I'm interested is the first edition Secret Rare reprints from Legendary Collection 4. If you guys watch my videos before, I'm a huge fan of Legendary Collection 3 and 4. There's some amazing reprints. Some of these cards are featured in this video that are from those sets. And it's about 2 bones. I was getting this day all day long for like $1, a couple of years back when I was in Japan. It's still pretty cheap. I mean, you can see here, I don't even have to dig too deep. You have 49 prices, and it's barely 2 bones for the first editions. And there's two reprints or 2 sets of the first editions here. I would go for, it's probably a little more expensive with the Legendary Collection 3 Yugi's World. Obviously, like Yugi, a little bit more fan of that character in the anime, and it's an older set. It's the prequel set to Legendary Collection 4, so I would always kind of go for those ones when they kind of did a double print standard on those sets. But also, another thing that's really cool is the LOB first edition supers. Of course, those are going to be like, it's a collector's card. Anything LOB is a collector's card, and it's always going to be ridiculously high because that's sort of like Gen 1 Set 1. But I don't know, there's just something about it. I just can't, I guess just because of the nostalgia and the popularity of this card and how this card is like come on and off the ban list, and it's just, it's Dark Hole, like it's so infamous. Did I already pass the LOB ones? Like what's going on here? I'm sorry. Just want to take a look. I want to see. I'm just curious to see what the ungodly price point is now for LOB first edition, super rare, dark holes. Everyone knows that's the best print. I mean, you have the secrets, which look really, really nice, and luckily for us, they're really cheap now, and they have been cheap for quite a while. But no one's really paying attention to this card, and I really don't know why. Okay, Legend of Blue Eyes White Dragon right here, super rare. I really love this card. I love the artwork, and it's just, again, collector's card, amazing artwork, generation 1, and just an all-around just amazing card. Just simple, generic, just blowout card that no one really uses anymore, which I kind of understand because, you know, our meta is always shifting and it's really advanced now and fast. But this card never goes out of style. Like, I always love myself some Dark Hole. Sounds kind of strange when you say it like that, but you guys know what I mean. So moving on here, it looks like there's 5+ pages. Not finding any first editions for the first couple of pages as expected. Alright, we get our first editions here on page 6. There's some Spanish first editions. Be really careful. Some people mix up Spanish and Portuguese. I personally find Spanish more desirable than Portuguese, but that's just me personally. Maybe it's because I'm Mexican, but we don't talk about that, even though I am the white Mexican. So about 23-ish bones is going to be the first English first edition that you're going to find. So not out of this world expensive, but definitely expensive enough to make you think twice about investing in the card. But just all around fantastic card. Next card I've reviewed before that I think is kind of like an underdog, kind of underground card no one's really talking about. I featured this card I think once before in one of my previous videos. Fantastic card. Again, I'm an avid anti-meta player, and this is just a fantastic card because you just get a +1 every single time. Someone special summons from the extra deck. Obviously, if you're playing anti-meta decks, you don't really utilize your extra decks for the most part, from the common formatting of anti-meta decks, at least deck constructions. So this is just a great card. It is a solo print from Secrets of Eternity. Unfortunately, it is just only a common. Fortunately, unfortunately, it makes it cheap. But I think this card would have been like really, really a lot more desirable if it was at least a super rare print. I think it's worthy of at least being a super rare. It's just such a fantastic card. Being, a field spell, and you can really plus a lot. This could really make your opponent think twice about, going off their combos, and of course, it's played in the right deck and be very, very popular. Plenty on the market, 61+ listings, and there's first editions galore. This one has 21. They're first editions for 2 dimes, so really easy to get. Again, I really wish that this card would come out super rare, kind of like like Secret Forces. They printed a lot of Magic cards as super rare reprints, which is really nice. I really hope that this card gets the same treatment because this is a fantastic card, and it definitely deserves a spotlight. So next card is going to be Sea Monster Theseus. Of course, we're going to want to go into the original print, Raging Tempest. Great. Talked about this card before. I personally think this is going to be a collector's card. It's still cheap. It's still under the radar. By no means do I believe this card is ever going to be like super meta or anything. But I mean, it's got like this like pirate pop art, like dark, like I don't know, I can't really explain it, but I love the artwork. I really love the artwork. I love House of Water, zombie, fusion, secret rare. Raging Tempest isn't super old. I think it came out in 2016 was the dawning of Raging Tempest. Anyway, so about 4-ish years old now, so it's not super old, but old enough where it's kind of getting a little bit harder to more specifically get the original print first editions, and of course, near mint lightly played. But it's like $2. It's still just like $2, a little bit over $2, and then there's 5+ pages. But there's something about this card I can't really explain it besides the fact that it just has amazing artwork, and it's a secret rare from a set that's getting older. It's not getting any younger. Next card is going to be Block Dragon. This actually just got reprinted in Secret Slayers as well. This is the original print from the Dark Illusion. It's about 3 bones. I think this is a really awesome card. I mean, as I showed you when I was trying to make the anti-meta Rock Earth deck, this is going to be phenomenal cards. A level 8. Wish its attack was a little bit higher, but it is what it is. But really cool effect. You guys can pause the video, read the effect here if you want. I never really read this card before, but I think it's a pretty solid card. It's awesome. I like it, and just got reprinted as a super. This is the original print ultra rares. I'm looking at 3-ofs right now. I don't necessarily think this is a 3-of card unless you're specifically playing an Earth Rock deck. Then it might be a 3-of, depending what you're playing. So it's about 4-ish plus bones. This guy's 15, a whole bunch of them. So yeah, about $4-ish for the original one. Ultras, this is the highest rating right now. I specifically, personally, would just go for the supers, honestly. This card's pretty cool, and I mean, I personally like it. This is kind of like a new discovery for me. I know it kind of like has plays and popularity and all that I didn't really pay attention to because I never really personally read the card. But I don't know. I really liked Legos as a kid, and I think it's really cool that they kind of blended that nostalgia into an archetype and all that. But the super rares are super cheap right now. Like again, it just got reprinted as a super in Secret Sellers, and it's like 30 cents, 20 cents or something right now. So it's pretty cool. This is one rarity higher, and it's like the original print. But honestly, like this card's pretty cool, but it's not like, I don't know. I don't think it's a card that you need to like bling out. And plus, I'm just not really a huge fan of ultra rares. For some things, like older cards, I like ultra rares, first editions. But this card is just, I would just get the supers personally because they're just super cheap right now. Next card is gonna be another collector's card that I have reviewed before as well. And again, I kind of apologize. I'm kind of recycling content over the months, but I think it's important to kind of have updates and go back and review things. So Exodia Net Cross. My personal favorite is the reprint. This is the Master Collections Volume 2, which I've covered before as well. These are fantastic collector cards. Really awesome, deep rare, secret foiling, very beautiful. So this card, it came in limited edition only because of the set that it came in. It's about 8 bones plus. And then let's take a look at the little bit more popular Dark Crisis original print first editions. The unlimiteds here are pretty even just pricey as alone. This card's terrible. No one really plays Exodia decks. Maybe they do. I apologize if you guys play Exodia decks. I don't personally, I've never really constructed one or really kind of researched them, but it's just the artwork. I think this has fantastic artwork, even though he's kind of got a silly skirt and all that. Everything else is pretty, on point. I think this is just an awesome old school, again, Generation 1 Dark Crisis, so definitely getting up there in age by far. And it's going to be a collector's card. Already kind of is a collector's card. And the first editions, there's only 3 pages of this card. Those Invasion Chaos Dark Crisis cards are going away really quick, those Generation 1 cards. And then the first edition is 26, so it jumps all the way up to 26 for the first edition. I believe Lightly Played. Yeah, Lightly Played, 26 Lightly Played, first edition. So this card, obviously you're not going to be investing in this card. You're not going to be dropping 26 on this card right now. Does that potential go up? Maybe. I mean, but if you have it, I just want to make you guys aware. I'm sure you guys know, but this is just, an awesome collector's card. Next card is going to be the Ultimate Rare Blue Eyes White Dragons. Reviewed this quite a few times last year in some of my Market Watch investment videos last year. Not much has changed a whole lot. I personally invested quite a few copies of this and the Dark Magician as well from the other starter deck, Yugi. Again, we have not seen an Ultimate reprint of Dark Magician or Blue Eyes White Dragon yet. These are the only current Ultimate Rare copies that we have in the TCG for Northern America and all that. And unless you guys know something I don't know, to the best of my understanding, I'm pretty sure these are only Ultimate reprints. And I was buying for $5. Lightly Played, Near Mint, first editions, always first editions. Again, with these collector stuff, with the majority of any of my content, always first editions. If they come first edition print, unless it's like an OTS card or something. And they're still around $4-ish, $5. So they haven't really moved. Again, this card isn't old enough to really have any kick up in value yet, I don't believe. But with it being the highest rarities, besides, of course, I think we have Ghost Gold Blue Eyes, which I guess technically would be considered, depending on how you what your standpoint on rarities. the rarity hierarchy would technically be higher than this because it has Ghost in its name. But this is the highest rarity, even though it's from a starter deck and it's cheap and it's it was pretty highly mass produced. I still think this is worth evaluating and maybe taking into consideration. Definitely, if you guys can get these for about 4 bones, 5-ish bones, but more so, you want to try to get them, around the $4 range. I think that's fantastic. I think this has potential for growth. I would also check out Dark Magician. I'm not going to do that right now because I've reviewed both of these in previous videos, but I'm just kind of putting you on the right pathway. I would definitely review the first edition Ultimates. Drill and Lockbird, more specifically the OTS Tournament Pack 1. So I love this card so much. Honestly, I didn't buy into Legendary Collection Kaiba, so I didn't get the kind of big wave reprint of this card. This card was super expensive and really popular. This card is constantly going in and out of the meta game. Just a fantastic card, amazing artwork. Again, you guys know, if you watched my previous videos, I love my hand traps in super rare, especially for the monster hand traps. And this card, I've always wanted this card, but it's always kind of been a price point. More specifically, this rarity. I know there's an ultimate. I know there's ultras. I don't like the ultras. The ultimate looks nice, but it's just super expensive, and it's just not worth it to me. I'd rather just play this $9 super. But that's just me personally. So right now, this card is sitting at about $9-ish, $10. There's 3 pages, so it's kind of gone down a little bit. I remember this card fluctuating from 20 to 15. I think there was one point when it was 5, as cheap as 5, and I really regret not picking up a playset for 15 bones. It's been a long time since I've seen them at 5. I don't know if I'm imagining things. I'm pretty sure it hit as low as 5. Several months ago. I don't really remember, but just an all-around fantastic card. And again, I think people have kind of taken away and kind of forgotten about this card, kind of like Maxi. Maxi's kind of always in the back of our minds, in the back burner, but we, because it's been banned for so long, we're always hoping that it'll come back. But this card definitely needs to not be forgotten because this is just a blowout hand trap as well. Moving on to Tri-Infecting Virus. Okay, so this is my favorite card from Magician's Force. Awesome nostalgic Generation 1 set. I still think this is a collector's card. It recently-ish, yeah, I guess the ban list before last came off the ban list. Didn't do anything. No one even really plays it. I've never even seen anyone play this card since it got unbanned. For me, it was a big deal that this got unbanned because it's been banned for so long. This was like Chaos Emperor Dragon, and how it's literally been banned for so long and it came off. I was really excited about it coming off, especially because I play Atlantean Mermills a lot, and I'm a really big fan of that deck. I don't play it specifically in that deck. I'm kind of deck constructing online. I've kind of messed with it a little bit, but this card just has fantastic artwork, and I think it's an awesome collector's card in my opinion. There's the rare here from Dark Revelations, and there's this common that no one really cares about, which is actually all pretty solid prices though. Even the common, it's $4. No one's gonna buy this personally. It's pretty much the same price, and it's okay, well, common, I want rare. No, you're gonna get super rare. Super rare is really the only way to go with this. It's really not that bad for the original prints. Until you get to the first editions, that's where it kind of starts to get questionable, always, for, do I want to invest in this card? I personally was picking up these for about $4. There's very few I got for 4. The majority of them were for 5 bones, for first edition lightly plates near mints. And this was a long time ago. I've always been a big fan of this card. This is truly one of my favorite artworks. I love the name. I like how it's a water, aqua, level 4. Stats are a little not that great, but I don't know, I just really like the artwork in this card, and it's an old school Generation 1 card, and I just think it's a great collector's card in my opinion, personally. So about 9 bones is the first edition that we get, and then it jumps all the way, and that's still about 9 bones, but not really too many first editions here that I can see. So there's that card. Next card's going to be Lost Wind. So there was 2 rare prints, the original and the Megaton reprints. More specifically, we want to talk about the OTS pack, Tournament Pack 5 Super Rares. I think this card will look great in Secret Rare. Hopefully we get a Secret Rare reprint eventually. But just because it's an OTS card, I think naturally this is going to always be a little bit more desirable and kind of rarer one. And it's really cheap right now. This is a fantastic card. This is a 2-for-1 card. It's recyclable. You can use it twice. It not only cuts a monster's attack in half, it negates its effect. And, you know, it stays like that. It's permanent. It's got pretty cool artwork. Cool name. It's called Bewildering Wind in Japan or something, which I think it sounds kind of cooler in a way. But anyway, this is just a fantastic card. And it's super, super cheap right now. This is the highest rarity, and it's like a bone, if that. And there's plenty on the market. You know, this guy's 21. It's pretty impressive. Anyway, this is just a great card. An all-around just great card. It does target like the majority of trap cards, which is kind of a downfall. But I mean, a lot of things target. So I mean, there's a lot of cards to get around this. But this is just a great card. It's a dual card, dual effect. And again, I like it to play a lot of anti-meta, so I just think that this card is a really good card, and it's really cheap right now, and I just wanted to feature it. Alright, so the last card is going to be Compulsory Evacuation Device. I love this card. I've featured it countless times through many of my videos, and there's so many awesome rarities to pick from. Of course, we have the Turbo Pack Booster 4 Super Rares, which are, you know, calmed down a little bit. They're about $30 or so. Still really great. And it's cool that you know this is obviously like the highest rarity. Like to get wise, it's harder to find. Obviously, it's not the highest rarity because there's secrets, but there's so many great prints here. And I don't remember how long ago I reviewed this. I reviewed this a lot because I love this card. I'm obsessed with this card. And it's at 3. And it's been at 3 for a while now. And it took forever for this card to go from 1 to 3. But it finally came to 3. And it was super exciting for me personally. I love this card. And the secrets have actually increased. I remember like all day long when I was in Japan, I was picking these up for like $1 for the secret rare first editions, lightly played near mint. And now they're sitting at like about $5-ish, which is very, very impressive. That suddenly, I don't know if this card is just, no one's really playing it though. Like when I'm playing online, I really don't really see anyone playing it, but it's upticked in price, and it's really curious that it's upticked in price. I mean, it's a fantastic card. I think so, and I play it all the time. But you know, so you have 2 versions of the secret rares for 5-ish bones. I'm not gonna dig into the first editions here, because I can just see right here. For at least the Legendary Collection 4 ones, they're about $5-ish. But then again, what I wanted to show you was the dual terminal commons, which are really cool too, which you can see here, which are about $2. But you gotta factor in the shipping. So again, you have the dual terminal commons, really good choice. The 2 secret rares from Legendary Collection 3 and 4 for about 5 bones. Then you have the original super rares, you know, which are about 30 bones, which honestly I think, you know, no one's really going to get when they can, you know, get the secret rares cheaper or the dual terminal. But again, on its own merit, the super rare is pretty great. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. This has been a showcasing by the White Mexican, and I will see you in the next video.